The cat is finally out of the bag. My next LP is going to be... which means that we're going to have to deal with... And as such, nah, I'm not gonna do that through the entire video. That would be way too mean, even by my standards. So, as I was about to say, the next LP that has been announced yesterday, as another Geodude blows up in the face of absolutely nothing. That's 5 so far on this route. But yeah, next LP is going to be Banjo-Kazooie. And let me just say, I am really looking forward to it. I'm gonna get started on it as soon as Ocarina of Time is done, so don't expect any videos for that particular LP for at least... Well, I have absolutely no idea when Ocarina of Time is going to finish. It's probably going to be by the end of the year, though. So, yeah, Banjo-Kazooie, next LP after Ocarina of Time is done and over with. And, okay, gotta go down there. And, okay, did I fight this guy? Yep. So, I think we're actually done with Route 45. So, Lapras is going into the lead since we're headed into the final gym, which is a dragon-based gym, even though there are a lot of Pokemon in there that aren't even of the dragon type. Mostly Horsies and Seadraws, since they do evolve into the dragon type, that is Kingdra. But otherwise, it's absolutely nothing but Pokemon from the Dratini and Horsey evolutionary lines. Which really sucks, because we're dealing with the last gym of the game, and there are only 2 evolutionary lines in that gym. Yeah, not good at all. But either way, a strong Bolt Beamer will totally dominate this dungeon, which is why I sent a Lapras out in the front. And this gym's puzzle is vastly different from the one in the original games. In Gold, Silver, Crystal, you needed to go up and down stairs to the 2nd floor, and then push strength boulders all the way down to the 1st floor, which would create bridges that would allow you to get to the various trainers as well as the gym leader. Anyway, this is how this works. You use the arrows to move the platforms, and you step on the circle in order to rotate that platform clockwise. And this one looked rather easy, but the last one is actually sort of tricky. It's not overly difficult, but still, overall, I'd say that the puzzles in Heart Gold and Soul Silver are still much easier than the one in the originals, so I guess they were going soft. Oh, great, it's still alive. What I intended on doing there was that I wanted to use Body Slam to save my Ice Beam, so I wouldn't need to go back and heal right before Claire, but it sort of backfired because it can't even kill a level 35 Dratini. Though I was lucky and the paralysis kicked in, it used agility, which still wasn't enough to overcome the speed advantage that I had, which is sort of sad because Lapras isn't the fastest Pokemon out there. And to be honest, this sort of worries me as far as Lance goes. He's got 3 Dragonites, but one of them is level 51, I believe, and I mean level 51, not level 51 as in 5 followed by a 1. Sorry if I confuse any people with that. But, yeah, one of them has Thunder, as we saw all the way back at the Mahogany Hideout, so it definitely does have the means to kill my Lapras before I can even land an Ice Beam on it. And by the way, there are those warp panels there that take you back to the beginning should you want to heal. But yeah, the good news is that there's a way to bypass this because, if you remember, I still have 1 team member left to catch, which would be Lugia. And I'm going to be taking care of that in not too long, actually. And what I'm planning on doing with Lugia, the problem with Lugia is that it only learns Recover at level 71, and when I catch it, it's going to be level 45. So what I want to do, as far as, you know, the part up to the Elite Four goes, I'm going to keep Extra Sensory and the Aeroblast on it, Of course, extrasensory needs to be kept because I don't have the psychic TM yet. It can only be obtained in Kanto, so I'm going to have to make do with extrasensory. Not that it's such a problem, because extrasensory has a crap ton of PP, as well as a 10% chance to flinch. It's 80 power, so it's not a bad move by any means. Still, I sort of prefer psychic, but I can still easily live with extrasensory for a while. But as far as the other two moves go, I want to teach it Thunderbolt and Ice Beam, which means that I'm going to have another Ice Beam user, one that is going to be a lot faster and a lot bulkier than Lapras, and that means that I'm probably going to be using Lugia against Lance's trio of Dragonites. Also, something that I said in the last video that I wanted to correct, even though I put an annotation on it, I still wanted to talk about it a little, is the fact that, unlike what I said in the last video, Cursed Body actually works 30% of the time against any attack, not just contact ones. Well, it goes to show just how much Water Absorb is valued on Jellicent, so that even I would not have any idea that things work that way, but wow! Did I really see a Seed Rod try using Bubble Beam on a Lapras that has Water Absorb? Yeah, speaking of how valuable Water Absorb is. Way to go! But anyway, that means Cursed Body is a lot more useful than I gave it credit for, but I still wouldn't use it on Bayonet because Frisk and Insomnia just are a lot more useful and reliable in general. And as any competitive Pokemon player will tell you, reliability is more important than a great effect that only will kick in once in a great while. And something else that I wanted to point out in the last video but didn't have the time to is that I was talking about how broken Double Team and Minimize were at one point. Well, if that wasn't enough, it did it again! I mean, wow, this is just... How can the AI arrive at the logical conclusion that using Bubble Beam is the best course of action against a Pokemon that's got Water Absorb? I have absolutely no idea. I mean, this isn't Generation 1 anymore, and someone actually in the comments to an old video told me yesterday that he was fighting Lance's Dragonite in Red, Blue, or Yellow, don't remember which one, with a Venusaur. And what happened was that the Dragonite was trying to get the super effective hit on the Venusaur with agility. Because back then, the AI couldn't tell the difference between offensive moves and non-attacking moves. So it tried landing super effective hits with agility, even after its speed was all topped out. And that just meant that the AI really sucked ass back then. But still, what we just saw twice, no less, still not very, very bright. But what I meant to say about Minimize is that, as if it wasn't broken enough, they buffed it in Generation 5, so not only is it a Double Team with more PP, but it also boosts evasion by 2 levels instead of just 1. Why did they do that? They probably know that it's banned from all serious competitive play, so instead of trying to make it balanced, they make it even more broken? What the hell? I don't get it. And okay, I'm appearing to have a bit of trouble with this puzzle here. But okay, I think I got it. And by the way, as you just saw, if the platform can't rotate a certain way, it's just going to go boom on the other ledge, and it's going to just say, no, I can't rotate this way, and it's going to reset back to its original position. Anyway, the final gym leader in Johto, Claire, the world's best Dragon-type master. My ass, we're gonna fight a far better one just a bit later in the game. So, yeah, on top of being a sore loser, she's a total braggart. And so, the battle begins. I have my Lapras in the lead, and her lead, a new addition to her team in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, a Gyarados. Back in Gold Silver Crystal, this was a Dragonair, but since she already had 2 other Dragonairs, I guess they figured we're going to make her team a little bit more varied. Dragon Rage for 40 damage, but this sort of highlights how slow Lapras is. So, yeah, I better not have it fight against Lance's Dragonite. and Thunderbolt should be a one-hit KO, no surprise there. It would have been really shocking had it not been a one-hit KO, because I fought so many of these over the years, and no matter what, they all die to Thunderbolt, always. Dragonair, so that means it's time for some Ice Beam spamming, since she still has 2 of these, and a critical hit. Totally unnecessary, because I killed a few Dragonairs earlier on in this dungeon. Dungeon? Why did I say dungeon? I meant this gym, of course. And, these ones have a bit of a higher level and maybe better EV spreads. I don't really know how opposing EVs are programmed as far as AI trainers go. But anyway, here it comes, the big one, Kingdra. For this one, I'm going to be using Gengar, because remember, I have no super effective attacks against that Kingdra, which is level 41, and is one of the most notoriously difficult Pokemon in the game. This is where the real battle begins. So, is she saying that the rest didn't count? Shades of Silver there, as Hypnosis connects on the first attempt. This is great. I was afraid to miss 3 or 4 times in a row with that, but fortunately, didn't happen. So, now let's spam Shadow Ball and see where it gets us. Oh, wow! I was about to say that I'm gonna fall just short of a 2-hit KO, but then Shadow Ball's special defense drop occurred. 20% chance of that, by the way, and is that gonna be enough for the 2-hit KO? Yes! I was planning, if I took any damage on using Dream Eater to compensate for the damage I would have taken while trying to put it to sleep, but I didn't need to resort to that. But if you thought that dominant performance was enough to get the badge, think again! Still not ready for the Pokemon League? Actually, she's sort of right on that, because with the team I have now, I think I'd struggle a lot. But anyway, I gotta take the test at the end of the Dragon's Den, and Lazy Ideals, I've already said it in my Crystal LP, but I got no idea where she's getting that idea from. I mean, sure, I got really lucky against that Kingdra, but that doesn't mean I couldn't have kicked its ass to Kingdom Come without that hacks. But still, what about Pokemon League regulations? They stipulate that whenever a gym leader's beaten, he or she has to hand over the badge, and that was just breaking the rules if I ever saw it. And I wonder how she expects the league higher-ups to not hear about this. And she even gets called out on that later on, as we'll soon see. And yeah, no gym leader has done that before, and no gym leader has done that since. Sure, Whitney started crying and I had to take a step back in order to progress, but still, she still ended up handing over the badge without making a big fuss about how I'm supposedly not ready and I'm lazy and shit, and but you know what? I'm gonna do as the guy at the entrance of the gym said. I'm gonna head into the Dragon's Den and take that stupid quiz, and maybe when I do, I'm gonna get that badge. But there are a few trainers to fight in there, so it's not gonna be done today, I'm afraid. And oh, hang on a second, I'll be right back. Okay, I apologize about that, and it's the kind of thing that happens, you get interrupted. And as I said the last time this happened, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more. But oh well, I'm not complaining at all. Anyway, we got more dragon trainers to deal with here, and I've already mentioned this in the Crystal LP, but apparently back in Gold, Silver, Crystal, the music in this place gave people headaches. Now, I know that it didn't sound very gracious coming off a Game Boy Color, but headaches? I never personally got headaches from video game music, but who am I to argue against that? Everyone reacts differently to different stuff. So, anyway, this is where we're going to end things off for today. So next time on Pokemon Soul Silver, I'm going to go deeper in the Dragon's Den and take the easiest quiz ever!